Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Vowels and consonant. The word vowel and the consonant are very familiar ones. But when we study the sounds of speech scientifically, we find that it is no easy to define exactly what they mean. The most common view is that vowel are sounds in which there is no obstruction to the flow of air as it passes from the larynx to the lips. A doctor who wants to look at the back of a patient's mouth often asks the patient to say ah. Making this vowel sound is the best way of presenting an unobstructed view. But if we make a sound like s or d, it can be clearly felt that we are making it difficult or impossible for the air to pass through the mouth. Most people would have no doubt that sound like s and d should be called consonant. However, there are so many cases where the decision is not so easy to make. One problem is that some English sounds that we think of as consonant, such as the sound of at the beginning of the word he and way, do not really obstruct the flow of air more than some vowels do. Another problem is that different languages have different ways of dividing their sound into vowel and consonant. For example, the usual sound produced at the beginning of the word red is felt to be a consonant by most English speakers, but in some other languages, some dialects of Chinese, for example, the some sound is treated as one of the vowel. If we say that the difference between vowels and consonant is a difference in a way that they are produced, there will inevitably be some cases of uncertainty or disagreement. This is a problem that cannot be avoided. It is possible to establish two distinct groups of sound, vowel and consonant in other way. Consider English words beginning with the sound h. What sound can come next after this h? We find that most of the sound we normally think as vowel can flow. For example, a in the word hand, but practically none of the sound we class as consonants. And now think of English words beginning with the two sounds. B. We find many cases where a consonant can flow, for example, d in the word bit or l in the word bill, but hardly any cases where a vowel may flow. What we are doing here, looking at the different contexts and positions in which particularly sounds can occur. This is the study of the distribution of the sounds and is of great importance in phonology. A study of the sound found at the beginning and end of English words has shown that two groups of sound with quite different patterns of distribution can be identified, and these two groups are those of vowels and consonant. If we look at the vowel consonant distinction in this way, we must say that most important difference between vowel and consonant is not the way that they are made, but their different distribution. Of course, the distribution of vowels and consonant is different for each language. There are many interesting theoretical problems connected with the vowel consonant distinction, but we will not return to this question. For the rest of this course, it will be assumed that the sound are clearly divided into vowels and consonant. We begin the study of English sound in this course by looking at vowels, and it is necessary to say something about vowels in general before turning to the vowels of English. We need to know in what ways vowels differ from each other. The first matter to consider is the shape and position of the tongue. It is usual to simplify the very complex possibilities by describing just two things. Firstly, the vertical distance between the upper surface of the tongue and the palate, and secondly, the part of the tongue between front and back, which is raised highest. Let us look at some example. Make a vowel, the E in English word see, and look in the mirror. If you tilt your head back slightly, you will able to see that the tongue is held up close to the roof of the mouth. Now make an A vowel as in the word cat, and notice how the distance between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth is now much greater. The difference between E and A is difference of the tongue height, and we would describe E as are relatively close vowels and A, S are relatively open vowels. Tongue height can be changed by moving the tongue up or down or moving the lower jaw up or down. Usually, we use some combination of the two sorts of movement. But when drawing side of the head diagram, such as figure 1 and figure 2, it is usually found simpler to illustrate tongue shape for vowels as if tongue height was altered by tongue movement alone, without any accompanying jaw movement. So we would illustrate the tongue height difference between E and A as in figure 3. In making the two vowels described above, it is the front part of the tongue that is raised. We could therefore describe E and A as comparatively front vowel. By changing the shape of the tongue, we can produce vowels in which a different part of the tongue is highest point. A vowel in which the back of the tongue is the highest point is called a back vowel. If you make the vowel in the word calm, which we write phonetically as a, you can see that the back of the tongue is raised. Compare this with A in the front of the mirror. A is a front vowel and A is a back vowel. Vowel into U is also a comparatively back vowel, but compared with A, is it is close. Figure 3. Tongue positions for E and A. So now we have seen how four vowels differ from each other. We could show this in a simple diagram, figure 4. How this diagram is rather inaccurate. Phoneticians need a very accurate way of classifying vowels and have developed a set of vowels arranged in a close open front back diagram like figure 4, which are not the vowels of any particular language. These cardinal vowels are a standard reference system, and people being trained in phonetics have to learn to make them accurately and recognize them correctly. If you learn the cardinal vowels, you are not learning to make English sounds, but you are learning about the range of vowels that the human vocal apparatus can make, and also learning a useful way of describing, classifying, and comparing vowels. They are recorded at the end of cassette 2. It has become traditional to locate cardinal vowels in a four-sided figure quadrilateral of the shape seen in figure 5. The design used here is the one recommended by the International Phonetic Association in 1989. The exact shape is not really important, a square would do quite well, but we will use the traditional shape. The vowel on figure 5 are the so-called primary cardinal vowels. These are the vowels that are most familiar to the speakers of most European languages. And there are other cardinal vowels, secondary cardinal vowel, that sound less familiar. Cardinal vowel no. I has the symbol E and it defined as the vowel which is the close and as front as it is possible to make a vowel without obstruction the flow of air enough to produce friction not noise. Friction noise is a sort of hissing sound that one hears in consonant likes or cardinal vowels. Number 5 has the symbol of A and it defined as the most open and vague vowel that is possible to make. Cardinal vowel number 8 is close and back, and number 4 is fully open in front. After establishing these extreme points, it is possible to put in intermediate points. Vowels no, 2, 3, 6, and 7. Many students when they hear these vowels find that they sound strange and exaggerated. You must remember that they are extreme of vowel quality. It is useful to think of the cardinal vowel framework like a map of an area of country that you are interested in. Obviously, if the map is to be useful to you, it is must cover all the areas, but if they cover the whole area of interest, it must inevitably go a little way beyond that and include some place that you might never want to go to. However, it is still important to know where the edges of the map are drawn when you are familiar with these extreme vowels you have, as maintained above, learn a way of describing, classifying, and comparing vowels. For example, we can say that the English vowel A in the vowel in cat is not as open as cardinal vowel number 4 are. In this course, cardinal vowel will always be printed within a square bracket to distinguish them clearly from English vowel sound. We have now looked at how we can classify vowels according to their tongue height of their frontness or backness. There is another important variables of vowel quality, and that is lip rounded. Although the lip can have many different shapes and positions, we will at this stage consider only three possibilities. These are rounded, where the corner of the lips are brought toward each other and the lips pushes forward. This is most clearly seen in cardinal vowel number 8 U. Separate, when the corner of the lips move away from each other as for a smile. This is most clearly seen in cardinal vowel number 1 E. Neutral, where the lips are not noticeably rounded or separate, the noise most English people make when they are hesitating writing has neutral lips position. Now, using the principle that have just been explained, we will examine some of English vowel. Close, front, number 1, E, and back, number 8, A. Close mid, number 2, A. Back, number 7, O. Open mid, A. Number 3, back, number 6, O. Open, number 4, A. Back, number 5, A. It is the figure number 5, primarily cardinal vowels. So if this video is helpful for you to learn the vowel and consonant sounds, so please like the video and subscribe the channel, and do pray for all Muslim and my mother. May Allah grant her and all Muslim ulate to the highest level of Jannah. Allahumma raham ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Stay recited to the Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allah Hafiz.